Well, good evening. This is Gina Tudela. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located here in Poolsbo, Washington, near the Keyport Museum. Anyways, tonight I'm going to show you this wonderful suite, and the first thing is called the Thankful Garden Stamp Set. This is a photopolymer. What I mean by that, it is a clear stamp. When you get it, there is a thin piece of plastic and then a hard piece. You want to take the stamps off very gently, place them here, and keep the hard piece to cover the top of them. This does have a die set that coordinates with it. I'm not going to be using the die set tonight, but I will down the road. So it has all those pieces that will cut out both flowers, this leaf, and it does extra leaves as well, and embosses them as well. So it's got duplicates of 2 and 2, and then one leaf here, and actually it has 3 of those. Didn't catch that. 3 here. So makes it easier. And then of course this is a hydrangea right here, and then this is the beautiful flower. Anyways, so I put them on magnetic sheets. This is the magnetic sheets that you use to cover your heater vents. It comes like a 8 by 15, and there's 3 in a package, and you cut them down to 5, 5, and there's these 3 5s, and you turn it and you cut it at 4 inches. So therefore you get 18 in a package to put your stuff on, because it usually takes 2 per dies. Sometimes it takes 3, depending on how many dies are in that die set. So when I do that, I usually put a piece of tear tape on the back side, peel that off, and I mount this. If it's the wider one, keep in mind to mount the wider edge out this side, especially if you put them on a bookshelf. Okay? Anyways, so I just want to share a tip of how I store mine. This set, this whole complete suite, has decorative mask, which I'll be using tonight. I'll be showing you how to use that. I've done it once before, but I did it with paste. Tonight it's just with ink and the mask. Hello, Bee. Hello, Linda. Welcome. So, and then, of course, got to show these starburst sequins. We're going to use those to put in the center of the flowers. I love embellishments. And we don't have this anymore, but a lot of people have it. You can use any type of baker's twine or real thin ribbon. It doesn't matter whether it's still available or not, because sometimes they put stuff in the clearance rack, and that's how I get it. So anyway, so I'm going to use that for a bow. But this is the beautiful DSP. And this is Lovely Garden. I had to look at it because I don't want to call the wrong name. Lovely Garden Designer Series paper. And this comes 12 by 12. So I did cut a piece off of here. So this is the back side of this one. Isn't that beautiful? So there's one set. And then there's the next one. So you can tell which ones we're using. Right? And let me get to the next one. So this is the back side of this one. And then here's this one. Okay. And then this is fresh freesia. And the opposite pieces with the greenery. So it's that light colored pink. Okay. And then isn't this beautiful? This reminds me of periwinkles. But it could be a couple others. So let me get you the next page. It's the opposite side. So there's that. So that way you can see. It's white and black dots. Okay. And then here's this one. And there's the back side of that one. Beautiful DSP. Okay, so let me get all that out of our way so we can get busy creating. Trying to put it away because if I don't, I won't move it. Okay. All right. Okay. Button step there. There's that. All right. So we are using Garden Green ink, Berry Burst, and Crushed Curry tonight. Okay? That is the colors that we're using. So, on the first two, we're going to go ahead and bring in these 3 inks, and you'll understand why. And we need these. This is measured at 2.5 by 3 1/4. Hold up. I trust myself here. 2.5 by 3 1/2. So, you need 3 pieces of this if you're creating this style of card. Or you can create whatever size you want. I'm just going to give you the measurements so it makes it easier. So, let me put these down. And I need to put, where is my temporary? Here's my Tombow. I need to just put a little dot, because I don't want this to move. And I'm just going to smear it. I want it to be temporary. This Tombow glue is multi-purpose. That means, if you do what I just did, it won't be permanent. It can be lifted back up. Like a Post-it note glue, right? Okay. Hey, Alice. I had to scroll down to see who all was on here. You did get this right. Well, you're going to love this. All right. So, there's the glue. And the glue here. I want to make sure that I am in the camera. Let's move these a little bit forward so we're in the camera. All right. Now, on these decorative masks, they have a little notch. Okay? And they have numbers. Go by the numbers. That's important. But because I want to do it like this, we're going to do it this way. And you'll understand why. So I'm going to line this up. And I want to mark it with a pencil. And then I usually use painter's tape, but I don't see if I brought any, so I'm just going to use Scotch tape on it, which is fine. But what you want to do first is you want to mark where the little V cut is. And the reason for that is that's where you line up every one of the masks. Make it easy. Don't make it hard. Okay. So on this side is the flower that I want to do with the crushed curry. And crushed curry is a very bright yellow, and it's in the, I think it's now in the brights group. I have to go back and look. Haven't gone and changed my ink pads. I've done all my cardstock. Now I got to do my ink pads. Oh my gosh, I got to get caught up. But during celebration, there was no time for that, so... All right, so we're using blending brushes. These are absolutely wonderful. You can use them over and over. It does take 24 to 48 hours for them to dry, so remember that. So we're going to use this one with the yellow, and then we're going to use this one with the Berry Burst. I could have done a blue hydrangea, but everybody sees a blue hydrangea, so I want to do one a different color. Right? So when you use your blending brush, you just tap it around the pad, and you just go in a circular motion. And of course, no, the flower's not going to fully fit on this piece of paper, because otherwise we wouldn't have hardly nothing showing on our card itself, because I'm using DSP and color. So that's good for that right now. Now we're going to use the crushed curry. Undo it on this side. Since this is a dual flower design on a decorative mask, and then you could do it on a strip of piece of paper because it has dies. If you get the dies, you can cut this out. So it can be on a bigger piece. So that's all I want to do with the yellow. Now we're going to pick this up. I didn't need to put a piece of tape. Y'all saw how easy that was. Then we're just going to move that out of the way. And now we're going to go to number 2. And line it up with the notch. There's the notch. Okay. Now we're going to do this. And this is going to start showing the definition of the flower. Y'all going to just love this. Now we're going to go through here and add this. This gives it a little bit more depth. I love the decorative mask. They're so much easier to use compared to what they used to be like. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's good enough for that. Now we're going to go to the next one and do this one. And you see, you don't have to do it a lot, because as you change, now we're going to lift that one up, and you're going to see where it shows the difference. Okay. Now we're going to number 3. Line it up with the notch. And I wrote it in pencil because then y'all probably say, I can't see that. That's all right. If you were working in your own spot, you could be able to see it. Now we're going to go back with the berry burst. You only need one ink pad color. Don't think you need, and then you need a green. But don't think you have to have a whole bunch of colors, because this does show the variation. And this one I'm going to be a little bit darker because this is the one I want to show out for the outline, and you'll understand in a moment. Okay, and now I'm going to go over here and do the crushed curry for the flower. So that shows the definition of inside the flower. And always go in a circular motion. You see how I'm holding the blending brushes? You don't want to press here on the neck because they will break. So you always want to kind of hold it up there at the top. Okay, so now we're going to lift that up. See that? Now here comes the green. So we're done with these colors, except I'll be using that yellow in that one. Okay. Close up the berry burst. That way we don't get our hands in the ink when we don't need it to be. And now we're going to go with the garden green. Okay. So I'm going to line it up with that notch. And here comes the leaves. Move those brushes out of my way. Okay. We're just going to go in a circular motion. Alice, you know how your aunt loved the other mask that we did those flowers with. She's going to love this. I hope you got the mask. Okay, she said she got the sweets, so I'm sure she got them the mask, because it all comes together in the sweet. Okay, now the green is all done for the first level. Now we're going to move that mask out of the way. This is number 4. And then we're going to come in with the last mask. And end up with that. Go. And now this is going to give the leaves definition. And just go in a circular motion. This will bring it all in. And somebody asked me a while back, well, can I use sponge daubers? Well, yeah, you can. The only downfall, they tear up. So they won't last after you do a couple times. They just deteriorate. Okay, move that. Sure did. There we go. Okay, make sure I get it lined back up with that V. Okay. So just the blending brush. They come 3 in a package. They work wonderful. And they have two sizes. They have the normal medium ones, and then they have the small ones. And there it is. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so let me get the brush out of the way. So now we're going to go ahead and close up this green. And in the stamp set, remember I showed you what I do with them? What I do with the stamp set? Right here. It has these little things in here. So, and I didn't bring a thing, but you can use those to stamp here. But we're going to use the little starburst embellishments. These here. That's what I brought them in for. So that's how we're going to accent that. So now let's get started putting a couple of these cards together. I'm going to close this other ink pad up so I don't have a problem there. And move these out of the way. And since I got glue there, I'm going to flip that sheet back over so I don't have glue in my workspace. Now, I brought in, this is Rich Razzleberry, which is a retired piece colored cardstock, but you can use Berry Burst. I try to use up my retired cardstock. I don't give it away, and I don't try to resell it. I try to use it because it's still a good color, and some people still have it. So, anyways, so this is a 5.5 by 8.5, but you can use Berry Burst as well. Now fold this in half. I usually line up the corners, top and bottom, press in the center, and then you can go from the center up and from the center down. If you don't have a bone folder, your fingers work perfectly. I have a bone folder, but I like to show both ways. Then I cut a piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4, because that is for the inside, because the card is so dark. Okay. And then here is a piece of basic black, 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be our piece there. And then we have this piece of the DSP. Remember I showed that to you? This is 2 by 3 3/4. So let's put this together. This is my favorite glue. It is very economical and easy to use. Just try not to get too close to your outside edges. And I just do a little small swiggle in the center. We're going to mount that on the front of your card base and center it best as possible. Remember, this is art. You don't have to be perfect. So just keep that in mind. Now we're going to go ahead and mount this piece of DSP. Just like that. Now I'm going to bring in this hydrangea and I'm going to mount it here. And some people like to sponge their edges. I think it doesn't really need it, but I'm not doing it on this one. So I don't, but you have the blending brush. You could do that if you wanted to. Everybody has their own sweet way of putting stuff together. And then there is that. We're going to go ahead and mount that on. And then I'm going to add a piece of baker's twine. And then we're going to add the little embellishments. Got glue on my hand. I pre-tried 2 of them, but I'll show you the third one when I do that one. Okay, this is baker's twine. This was our old, we had this. This is garden green baker's twine. It was the thick baker's twine, which is easy to tie. So I'm going to use a mini glue dot. We have these. This is one of my other favorite items besides tear tape. Mini glue dots, tear tape, foam strips, and adhesive sheets, as well as the Tombow multi-purpose glue. Now, a long time ago, when we first had the mini glue dots, some of y'all may still have those, the glue dots were here. Now they're on this side. And I usually press on it, and I pull it off, And then I'm just going to mount it down here. And if you have any hanging off, you can always trim it. I always have one pair of scissors that has ribbon on it, so it's strictly for ribbon, nothing else. Or fabric. Ribbon or fabric. Okay, so let's bring in those nice, pretty starbursts. I just got these about a week ago. And I saw them, and they look even better in person. Okay, so here we go. All right. So they come in two sizes, small and medium. And they are in crushed curry, I think. Isn't that crushed curry? It tells you. It should tell you. But maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't say. It don't matter. Okay, see how it's not connected? I don't like that. So what I usually do is I put a glue dot. So when they want to come, you got to rub them. There we go. And then I mount this back on. So it's on this hard cardboard. That helps. Now let me take my Take Your Pick tool right here. This is a wonderful tool. These have adhesive dots, so you don't want to use this end. This end is only for those that don't have adhesive on them. So we want to take the little purple. We're going to put one there, and then get a big one for the big flower. Normally I do a threesome. So two small and a threesome. And so there's that. And then you can add your sentiment here when you're ready to use it. But isn't that just so easy to do, right? So let's go to the next one. Oh, let me glue this on the inside. I forgot to do that. I usually don't put sentiments on the card because I never know what I need a card for. So I can always add a sentiment anytime. So always keep that in mind. That way you have cards, plenty of cards to work with, and they're ready to go. Unless you're doing it for Christmas, Easter, or birthdays. That's a whole different story. Okay, so let's go to the next one. We are doing this one. Remember this pretty flower? Yeah. So this was our old wild wasabi. But instead, you can use soft sea foam, which is now still in the catalog. But I'm just using up the cardstock that I have left over. Yeah, I know, B, but it's just how it happens. I got so used to them being on the roll, and people would just unroll it. But this way, because they don't see it, they don't realize, so I have to point that out. Okay, so I did a really bad job at doing that. Let me flip that over when I did that crease. Okay, there we go. So this is a landscape card. So you saw I did a portrait, but I turned it landscape. So this is a landscape, which we're going to leave it landscape. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. So when you get your cardstock, it's 8 1/2 by 11. You cut on the 8 1/2 side at 4 1/4. So this is Daffodil Delight. This is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to be going on the front. And of course there's a white piece, so 4 on the inside. 4 by 5 1/4 of the basic white. And then here is our DSP. Remember the back side's black and then black and white. Okay. So this is 2 inches by 3 3/4. And then this is, where's my ruler? Okay, this is 2 3/4. Oops, wrong. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. As well as the white one was 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So let's get those glued. I like to give the measurements. I'm bad at typing, y'all. I'm not ever going to sit down and try to type up a recipe. But I'll be glad to repeat it over and over and tell people. So no problem there. So let's put our white piece on the inside for your sentiment or a note to someone. There we go. Let me close that up. Now we're going to mount our piece of Daffodil Delight. Okay, get that in there. Oh my gosh, I was getting my mom and Nick set up with their... Nick wanted a smartphone, so I got him a jitterbug. And Mom wanted a new flip phone because hers broke. So, trying to get them all set up. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. But I think I'm almost done on that. I'm going to go ahead and mount this on this side. There we go. And we're going to mount this to the garden green. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to wrap this around. I'm going to do B's favorite. No bow, just tie it. Right, B? You know I'm right. She hates tying bows. Okay. So, I want it not to be over here where the stem is. So it's 1.5 wraps. I should have said that when I was doing it, and I was busy talking about. And then just tie it one more time. There you go. And then we will get that centered there. There we go. Now, this one here, you can mount it with dimensionals or tear tape. I got tear tape right here. I'm going to use tear tape. You can use either the mini or the regular dimensionals as well, but I'm just going to use tear tape. I'll put one at the top, one at the bottom, then I just break off this. When they literally say tear, it does tear. You see what I just did? Tear that, but you do definitely need to burnish it. And what I mean by that is you want to rub it real good because that helps remove the backing. Because some people have trouble getting the backing off. I said, well, you need to burnish it. Did you burnish it? And they go, oh, no. I said, okay. Go back and burnish it, then it'll come off for you. So there's that. And then I'm just going to tilt this just a touch. It doesn't have to be straight. I like to show y'all several different variations. They don't have to be perfect. Now we're going to trim this off. Okay. And I don't know what I did with the lid. Oh, there's the lid to go. Close that up just for a second. Okay, so now we want to add this. We're going to use yellow and the white. So I want to get a big yellow for the big flower. And then I want to use a white one over here. And then a small yellow on the smaller flower. I always do an odd number. It makes it look balanced. But there is the second card. Okay, let's go to the third one. This one we're going to actually stamp it. So I wanted to show you that. So, this is Blushing Bride, but you can also use Petal Pink. Petal Pink is still in the catalog, but I had a couple of sheets left of the Blushing Bride. Yep, you're right, B. Oh, what's the name of the stamp set? It is called Thankful Garden. Thankful Garden. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. Okay. And this is 5.5 by 8.5. So when you cut this, you're cutting it on the 11-inch side, and you're coming to 5.5 and cutting it in half off. That's how you get that. So we're going to go ahead and add the 4 by 5 1/4 basic white cardstock. That's for your sentiment on the inside. This is light colored. You may not have to. You may not want to put a piece of white, but I usually do. It just dresses the card up. We're going to go ahead and place this on the inside. And center that as best as possible. Now, on this piece, we have a 4 by 5 1/4 basic black. And this one's going to be a complete different layout. And I'm going to tilt this on the card base. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mount this. Oh, that's for that. What am I doing, Gina? Okay, make sure I got these flowers right side up. Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the way it was supposed to be. Okay. It's a vertical card, but I wanted to mount that at the bottom. Okay. So, our image is going to be stamped like this. And it's going to be this big flower. So I'm going to ink this up in garden green. And then I'm going to blend it with the... Oh, I'm not going to color the flower. I'm just going to ink it up with the garden green. That's right. I had to think there for a moment. What was I doing? You could just stamp it in black. That's the basic black. I mean, the Memento Tuxedo black. Okay? Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and ink this up and stamp that just like that. I usually count to 5. There it is. So I wanted to show you something that you don't even have to color. People go, oh my gosh, that's just so beautiful. And was so easy to do too, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mount that. I just want to make sure that this is dry. I want to smear it. Okay. Here we go. And this set would also look great with our beautiful rhinestones too. Or those beautiful pearls. Any of those embellishments, I'm telling you. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and mount this. This would be a great sympathy card too, so. It's just very subtle. Okay. And now, where's my other bow? There's my bow. I need to turn it this way. That's right. We're going to use a glue dot. Alright, there they are, right there. Press on there. Rock and roll it. Make sure it grabs a hold. It did. I'm just going to mount it right like that. I think I need to trim this one off just a touch. It's a little too long. And then when you're done with it, make sure when you don't tear it off too much, tear off what's done. And you place it back in your box. Don't leave your mini glue dots out of the box because they can roll and be stuck to everything. So let's add. We're going to do with the cute embellishments. We are going to use, yellow, we're going to use a white one. And we're going to put it right there. And then a large white one. And place it right here. And that is it. Isn't that nice? Move these out of the way. So let's bring these all back in. Okay. Okay. So here, that's your third one. Here is the yellow one. And here is the hydrangea. It should be all fit there where you can see them. Isn't that nice? How nice those look. I'll see if I get them all in the picture there. So just to show you how easy it is to create. You don't have to worry about trying to do this, or this. Oh, hey, Kathy. Yeah, you saw I had ink on my fingers, right? Oh my gosh. But anyways, thanks, B. Yeah, I can tell if I'm frozen because when I'm moving my hands and everything, and like this, it wasn't frozen for me because I've been checking that. And I did get my OBS all updated. Jonathan was in town this weekend, him and Danny. So they helped me make sure that I got everything set up. Because what happened is Microsoft brought in, number 11. And I couldn't get my OBS to update. So anyways, but we're good to go now. But thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful week. And remember to reach out to your personal demonstrator and let them know that you want a catalog. This is the last week so they can register all the ones and have those catalogs sent to them. It's a lot cheaper that way. So make sure you reach out to yours. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Monday at 7 p.m. Take care.